Hi, I go by the name of Podgy. You're looking for a job, looking for work. Hi, I go by the name of Podgy Figures, and today we will be doing a breakdown on how you can be a scaffolder / rigger. If you saw in the last episode, we had a guest on there called Paul. He shared his journey on how he became a rigger. So when I say today we will be breaking it down, I want to introduce Ebony. How are we doing, Ebony?
Hi Podgy, how are you? Good to be back.
Ah, that's good, that's good. How's your week been? How you been?
I mean, it's been alright. The weather's changing. I mean, the sun's come out, not necessarily heating us up, but at least it's bright. I saw some daffodils today.
Yeah, the weather's been sketchy, man. It was nice, and then it started hailstoning in a couple of days.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I kind of got caught in it.
Oh no, I didn't actually see it, but
yeah.
Instagram the next day, I was like, oh wow, that happened while I was sleeping.
Yeah, it has been sketchy, but it's all good though. Otherwise, though, but it's good to see you. I'm glad we're in good hands, and everybody can kind of learn something today. So, talk to me. What are we doing?
So today we're going to speak about your last interview with Paul, the rigger.
Yes. Paul's a good guy, man. He shared a lot on that podcast. He shared about his journey as well as mental health as well, and just kind of the ups and downs of just being a tradesman as well. So me as having the same trade, I can kind of dive into it.
Yeah, I think what stood out for me about Paul's interview was he was speaking about the fact that getting into that career, he didn't start from scratch. He took his transferable skills and he converted them into a completely new industry. Yeah. And that's something we speak about a lot with Career Quest.
Let's get straight to it, people. I go by the name of Podgy Figures, and I want to thank everybody that's been watching my channel. However, I need you to subscribe to my channel. I need you to press that like button.
In the sense that you don't need to start from scratch. Your transferable skills are just as valuable, sometimes even more valuable in a completely different industry. But the difference is there are some job titles out there that we've never even heard of.
Yeah. No,
especially in the film industry.
100%.
Because when you think about the film industry, you're thinking about the actors, the directors, you're thinking about the producers and the editors. There are some niche jobs like riggers, like electricians, like gaffers, like stunt coordinators that are just as valuable to that film and that film set as the producers.
100%. It wouldn't even work without those team members, what you just said.
Exactly.
So, no, they are. And me even hearing the title rigger, I never heard of it like before. So, and I thought to myself, when I heard they pay you handsomely and it takes you about maybe 2 to 2.5 years to actually get your diploma, I thought, you know what? This is something I can do. Like, I can get into the studio and do something, but the journey wasn't as sweet.
Tell me about your journey.
As I thought it was. The journey wasn't as sweet.
What is a rigger? Let's start by saying, what is a rigger?
A rigger is interesting. So to be a rigger, a qualified rigger, you have to be a qualified scaffolder. And when I heard rigger and I heard studio and the handsome pay, I thought, this is something I want to do. I want to be behind the scenes and work on the film set. So this is where my journey began. So I took a course, a CSCS card course. It was a day, and then I took a COTS course. It was a day as well. So it was only a couple of days. So I thought, all right, cool. But how it works is you got to do the practical.
Okay.
Now, I'm thinking in my mind, I've only got studio in my mind. So I'm thinking practical, labour. It's all right, I can get down with it. First day, I went on, I had like a new build to go on. And they said, and the supervisor must have said, yeah, come up. I'm a man, I'm not really loving heights. Not really loving heights.
Did you know beforehand that heights were going to be involved?
I was too naive, man. I was naive. Like I didn't take into consideration that there will be heights. And I know people thinking, what didn't you? Nah, I just didn't take it in. So
hold up. What do you consider a height to start with? Are we talking about house height, building height? How many stories are we talking about?
I'm talking the kind of height like you will die in the air. It won't even hit the ground, like, because you'll probably pass out in the air before you even hit the ground. That kind of height. So yeah, and I don't even like the new build height. Like, I'll be honest as well. The new build, my first one was a new build height, but big up the gaffer was on it, because when I was climbing up this ladder as well, and I wasn't even a ladder man like that as well. That's the honest truth. But I'm there. I'm like, all right, cool. He told me come up. I'm climbing up this ladder, holding it kind of tight, so my hands all sweating on the grip and that. Yeah. So I get up there, and he's like, listen, Del, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna build this handrail out here. All I'm gonna need you to do, just pass me the gear. So I said, all right, cool.
I can do that one.
Yeah, I can.
Not too hard.
Yeah, but what it was, I had my hand on the handrail, what was already built. I wasn't really trying to take it off because I was kind of high. And he must have kind of peeped something. He said, everything all right there? I said, yeah, everything all right. So he said, what you do, start passing me some of the tubes. But I didn't really want to take my hand off. So I was like picking up maybe one tube, one hand, throwing it. And he said, mate.
Throwing it in the air.
Kind of like passing it. And he's like, mate, you're going to have to use two hands. I took it off kind of, so I'm moving kind of stiff because I don't want to move, like start stepping around. So like big him up, man, because he could see something weren't really too right. So he said to me, what you do is go down a couple floors and then pass me the tubes that way. I said, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Went down a couple floors and big him up, man, because like at lunchtime he said to me, so how long you been doing this? I said, yeah, it's my first day. He goes, yeah, I could tell. I could tell. Yeah, I goes, I ain't really loving heights. And he goes, you know what? Nor am I, you know. I said, that's it. I said, how long you been doing this? He goes, about 15 years. And you're not loving it? He goes, I'm not. But he goes, I don't look at it. I don't look at the heights. I just carry on with the job. I said, I'm not there yet. I'm not there. And he goes, don't worry.
That shows discipline.
It does,
the type of discipline that it takes to get up and do a job every day that you don't like.
He didn't even like heights himself, and he was there 15 years. He didn't like it himself. So I carried on that I think I was with him for about 2 months. He was a cool guy. He understood it. He walked me through it. Then I must have moved on somewhere else. Now, as I said, I was on a new build there, so it was high, but it wasn't like you might break an ankle, break a leg or something, but it's not that deep. Okay. I went on to another one. Now these heights were the heights. These were dying the air heights. Now went up there and I said,
let's go. Let's just set the scene. What time of year are we talking about?
All right, so the new build time, we were summer. Okay. So it was all right. It was warm. It was doable. Okay. Now, like the die in the air heights, we're talking winter time now. So
it's breezy.
Proper cold up there.
Blow you.
Yeah, the wind's different up there because it sounds different. It's whistling. It's woo, woo. You're like, raw. It feels like somebody's talking to me up here. Like, it's that type of thing. So I thought, all right, let me try and get through this. But what it was that time, it was the actual weather. The weather was so cold. I'm talking like, I never felt anything like that before. Like I said, hands numb, toes numb. I'm like, man, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, start questioning myself. Like, what am I doing with myself?
This is before this is you training.
This is me training.
You're not getting paid yet?
I'm getting paid, but I'm getting paid as a labourer. Okay. So you're getting a little something, but it's not, it's not enough to die over. That's how I felt. You know what I mean? And then, so even that time that when I remember I came up on the top of the building and there was like, I said to the lads there, like, I think, so who's broke glass up here? And they said, nah, mate, that's not broken glass. That's ice. That's when I knew. I said,
just the thought alone.
I don't know if this is for me, but I'm gonna see this day out. And what happened? That day I had to actually go home and I had to put on YouTube and type in the coldest places and see people working. I said, it is possible. People is working. Let me go back there. Went back there, saw out the winter till the summer, and I got a bit better, like with heights, and I'm still not loving the heights, but I knew how to kind of work around it. You know what I mean? I wasn't one of them guys who was like getting onto the top and jumping over the railings and then like doing the most. I was working up there and kind of doing it, but scaffolding in a hold is a brutal job. It's brutal, man. You gotta kind of, to do it, you gotta love it.
Yeah.
And the lads who are up there, they're interesting characters, just to say the least, if that makes any sense. And a lot of them, to be fair, a lot of them don't want to go to the studios. A lot of them
they like the atmosphere.
They love the atmosphere. They love the banter. They love that kind of energy. Me, I only had one goal. I was like,
you wanted to be a rigger.
Yeah, I wanted to be a rigger. That's what I wanted to be. They looked at it like, rigger, mate? Nah, mate. You're not doing it. I'm like, I hear you. I'm listening. I hear you, but that's the route I want to go. Yeah, that's the route I wanted to go. So, yeah, it was an interesting journey. But
all in all, how long was that process?
All right, to get my part 2, to get my ticket, it took me 2.5 years.
That's a long time.
It was a long time.
That's discipline.
And that's 2.5 winters as well. And summer ended in a summer for me as well.
Let's be real, this is England. Winter is 3/4 of the year.
Yeah, and it's brutal. I tell you the horriblest time as well, yeah. It's like the November, December till March. That time there, it's like, mate, there has to be something else. Right? They must be able to do something else, man, to get through this thing here, cause this is too much. Like, so I'll tell you, the first winter for me was horrible. The second one, it was bad. But because I experienced the first one, I kind of got through it a bit more easy. Not say I wanted to go back, but yeah, I made it work. Life of a scaffolder, G. What's going on? My brother, that's what we're talking about on the roof. Check the #1 shooter. Back. Come on, man. You're live on Instagram. Say hello to the girls. #1 ladies, man. Go.
Well done. Sticking it out.
Yeah.
Well done for sticking it out.
I think
that couldn't have been easy.
Nah, I think that was probably one of my hardest journeys, I reckon, in my life, because I was facing fears that I never wanted to face, like heights. I just knew I wasn't loving it, and I knew I didn't really need to ever do anything to kind of like indulge in it. That way I had to go head on, face the fears. I don't like the cold like that. I had to face the cold. So if you want to be a scaffolder, be a rigger, bearing in mind, you're going to have to work with the heights. You're going to have to work with the cold. And it's brutal, but it's just one of them things.
Do you think, in hindsight, if you had known in advance the cold, the atmosphere, the heights that you were going to have to go through in order to get your qualification, would you have still done it?
Nah, never. I wouldn't. I'll be honest. I would have probably done sparks.
Oh God, thanks for being honest.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't. Never. I would have probably took a spark on a sparks course or something and made my way to the studio that way. But nah, I wouldn't have done that, because I knew to myself I don't like heights. So that would have made me say nah. And then not loving the cold, nah, let me go another route. So I wouldn't have done it. Big up my friend as well, Lee Hedges. He's the guy who introduced me to the studios, got me into the studios as well, because studios is a kind of who you know kind of places as well.
Yeah, and I think you spoke about that a bit with Paul.
Yeah.
Because I think the film industry, more than most, it is about networking.
100%.
Because most of the employees, or the staff, should I say, that are working on the film set, they're not permanently employed by the studio or by the production company. No. They're working on a project by project case.
Yes.
And it's too much money at risk to hire people that you can't trust.
100%.
So once you work with that person that is reliable, that's turning up on time, that's getting along with people, what you're going to find is they're going to be contracted by that production company
all the
or
time.
that studio all the time.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it. As I said, it's a self-employed and you're contracted.
You
but
have to network to get your foot in the door.
100%. And once they know you're reliable, you can do the work, and you got people skills, and you know what I mean. You can talk, because it's long days, and you need to have a upbeat energy. But I'm going to be honest, the way they lay it out for you and the hospitality they give to you, it's a beautiful atmosphere to be working in as well. So you know what I mean, you get fed, and there's gyms in there, and it's nice. So but you have to have people skills, you know what I mean, at the same time. So
yeah, you have to be sociable.
Yes, indeed. But to be honest, to answer your question as well, would I do it again? I say no, but I'm happy it's done.
You're happy that you've done it.
Yeah, and that's why it's good to be naive sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. If you know too much,
it's easy to say
back.
This ain't for me. And I would be able to lay it out to say, listen, I don't like heights. The winter, this just ain't for me. Let me look at another route. So
but then saying that's a test to your staying power and your discipline.
Yeah.
Because to somebody else, even with the naivety that may have allowed them to start the course, once they experience that, you can quit.
Yeah.
You can drop out. You can say, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose that time and I'm going to start from scratch somewhere else.
I saw loads of guys do that. Let's get straight to it, people. I go by the name of Podgy Figures, and I want to thank everybody that's been watching my channel. However, I need you to subscribe to my channel. I need you to press that like button. Like, I saw loads of guys start in the beginning, and then like, they just said, no, this ain't for me. Like, no, I'm not doing this. It's too cold. It's too this. It's too that. You know what? I'm going to do slinging. And then they stay in construction and maybe do a slinging job.
So what is a slinging job?
So a slinging job is like somebody who kind of directs like materials to go up and down. So there might be people who say, oh, we need all those bricks to go on top of this building, or all those tubes to go over here. You'll be on the kind of walkie-talkie saying to the crane driver, mate, take them over there, and he'll direct them and pit them, make sure they're, and you're on the ground. It's a kind of like a cushy-ish job, and you get kind of paid decent for it as well at the same time. So a lot of guys will just say, well, look, I got my CSCS card already. I'm going to jump ship over there, if that makes. I met a good slinger when I was in there, but he was originally a scaffolder, but he's just nah, this thing ain't for me. I can't be picking up these boards. He goes like, nah, it's too much. He says too much. Like, so
let's go back a stage. So you said you got your CSCS card.
Yeah.
What is a CSCS card?
So a CSCS card is a green card, so you can actually work on site. So so you can actually work on site as a labourer. A COTS card is a labourer for a scaffolding specifically. CSCS card, you could be a labourer for anybody, bricky.
And how would you get that card?
You just sit down and do a course. So it's a test.
Okay.
I think it's like 50 questions, and they just general questions like what's a stop sign, what's a just like basically trade stuff. So fire extinguishers and stuff like that. I failed that a couple times because I thought to myself, yeah, man, I don't know. I'll just go in there, and I went in there, and they started saying this fire extinguisher. I was thinking, I didn't even know that fire extinguisher exists. Yeah, like, there's a green one. Yeah, okay, a black one. I never even know. I just thought it was just the red. Oh, it's just the red one there. So
now you're going again.
Yeah, so I had to go and buy the book and read the book and read through it and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of got there in the end.
Okay.
I got an interesting story as well. So when I got my part 1 of the course, I went to another site to kind of do the practical there, and it was in Golborne in West London. And I was in the introduction, and there was like loads of different tradespeople. When they're doing introductions, you'll get like the sparks, you'll get the brickies, you'll get the plasterers, and you'll get the scaffolders. And as we're sitting down on this big table, you got the teacher there, like who's telling basically about the site. Where are the toilets? Where's the canteen and stuff like that? And I could feel this guy just watching me, like he's just watching. And I turn around and just glimpse at him, and he's just looking. He goes, "Mate, you look familiar, you know." I said, "Oh, is it?" And he goes, yeah, you look like that guy, Podgy. I said, oh, don't. Okay, cool. Anyway, I carry on with the teacher. To the teacher.
You didn't confirm to him?
Nah, that's not my cool. Cause I just want to do my course and just get on with it. Yeah, you know, I'm still trying to figure things out. And then next minute now, he just loses it. He's like, oh my gosh, hold on. You are that guy, Podgy. This is Podgy. And everybody stops looking, teachers looking, like, what's going on? He goes, this guy's from West London. He's a legend. And then people getting out their phones, Podgy, how do you spell that? P-O and M thing. And I said, bro, calm down, man. I'm just trying to do my I'm just trying to keep it quiet and that. And he just lost it, blew up. Everybody, teacher acting like I'm a jukebox, saying, can I sing and that? I said, nah, I'm not here for that. I'm just trying to do my course and that. But to say that is me meeting that guy. He introduced me to other places where they was doing the courses.
Amazing.
So he was like, where do you live? And I was telling him where I lived, and he was like, yeah, you know, they do it near your house there. They do it near there. So it's good communicating with people when you're on these kind of courses, because they might have information that
open doors.
Yeah,
exactly.
that you necessarily never had. He helped, but he didn't really help too much, because the numbers he would give, he would be telling them, and then I'll phone up and they're saying, yeah, your music. I'll say, but I'm not really here for that. I just need to do my course. But big him up though anyway. I know he watches the actual show, but my point is networking's good.
Networking. Yeah. For the film industry, 100%.
Yes.
You need to network.
Yeah, you need to network,
especially if you need to be sociable.
Yes.
Get your foot in the door.
Yes. And now to put your ego in your pocket as well. That's another thing as well. I think a lot of, especially when it comes to guys, sometimes they don't know how to put their ego in their pocket and play their position. It's like almost like a football team. You've got a goalie, you've got a striker, you've got a midfielder. Like, everybody just plays their position. You've got the coach to make the team win. So, yeah, that's my advice. Definitely play your position.
So what are the real earnings of, firstly, a scaffolder?
Yep.
And secondly, a rigger, if there is a difference?
Massive difference. So with a scaffolder, so for instance, if you're a labor, you might take home like maybe £18 an hour if you're a labor.
Okay.
And then you graduate to be a part one. If you're a part one, you might take home £20 to £22 an hour. Okay. If you're a part one. And then you get your part two. So a part two is you got your full diploma. After that, you get from £25 to £27.50. That's if that's in scaffolding. Okay. Now from rigging, it just jumps completely. So you're damn near getting paid £1 a minute. Okay. So you went from £27 an hour. You damn near make that in 27 minutes as a rigger. So you're taking home riggers like, you know what I mean, the best part of maybe £400 to £500 a day. So it's a big difference. However, what you have to understand is with scaffolding, you can finish at 2 o'clock. You can start at 7:30, finish at 2 o'clock, go home. With rigging, those are 12 hours days, and they might go over, and that's what it is.
Until filming's done. Yeah, you have to stay there.
Stay there, and you have to stay on the project. Scaffolding is a bit more lax. Like, you see scaffolders knock their knees, say, "Oh, that's it. No, I'm going home, mate. I'm going home. I hurt my knee, and that's it. No, enough's enough." And that's like they knock their knee, they go home. Do you understand where I'm coming from? And it's expected. Or if it's raining, they say, "No, we're not doing no work today. It's raining. It's raining off." And that's it. I'm going home. Listen, come on. We're all going home. We're going home. And they use that as that's just the culture of being a scaffolder. It don't work like that in the film business. If we start a film, we got to see out the film. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
And then you don't know if you're going to be there a week, a month, or a year.
Yes.
You just have to stick it out.
You stick it out. So, and that's it. But as I said, if you're like good with money and got money management skills, rigging will be good for you, because you get a contract and you get a lump sum, and then you can kind of figure it out after that. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just each to their own. I know scaffolders will never go in this film studio. They're like, "Nah, mate, not going in there."
Because of the environment? The atmosphere? What is it that stops them, do you think?
I think it's who they are though. Scaffolders are some interesting characters. They're loud. You know what I mean. They're characters at heart. You know what I mean. So, and Studo's a bit more prim. It's a bit more. You know what I mean. You get your bang up, but it's a bit more. And Scaffolders, yeah, I won't call them prim. You know what I mean. So
interesting.
Yeah, they're
interesting.
Yeah, really right. Interested. Yeah.
Bad reviews.
Yeah, really right. Interested characters. They understand. Like they'll be watching and they'll understand. They don't get me wrong. They're lost, but they know they're interested at the best. You know what I mean? So that's all good.
So would you say that scaffolding is a good long-term career?
Yeah, I think any trade is good to have. I think a tradesman is good to have, and I feel like it's kind of each to their own, but I think it's a good trade to actually have. They always need scaffolders, and yes, it's good to have a ticket, because even if you say, for instance, you get all your tickets, you're qualified, and you decide to say, you know what, let me try something else. I want to be, I don't know, a driver or something like that. If that don't work, you could always bounce back to scaffolders.
Okay.
Like, and that's a lot of scaffolders do that. Sometimes they scaffold for like 10 years, have enough of it, go and do something else, and then they kind of come back. So I think it's a good career.
Do you think there were do a lot of injuries happen? Are there a lot of accidents and injuries within that profession, or do you think they're so well trained that it avoids that type of?
Yeah. I don't, you know what I mean? There's injuries what do happen, obviously, but it's not as frequent as you'd think it is. And they do have a lot of health and safety there as well. So especially the jobs in London, like you get health and safety officers, they coming round and they'll send you home if you ain't got your glasses on. Yeah. And you're like, I can't even see through these things. Do you understand where I'm coming from? You want to try them on, big man? Because I can't even see through these. Do you understand? Yeah. So like the health and safety is quite strict on it as well. Even stuff like, I see guys, you know what I mean, get penalised for their laces not get done up and stuff like that as well.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous
100%. And this is what I found interesting as well, yeah. Like, they'll be like, man, this health and safety guy now. I'm like, no, man, he's doing the right thing. He's doing the right thing, man. He makes sure everything done right and that. And when he come around, I'm like, yeah. That's like, he's doing the right thing. That's how it's meant to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, because it's interesting, because you get scaffolders who's been in it maybe 15, 20 years. They was doing scaffolding when there was no harness. So they climbing up, no harness. So them pitting on the harness, them pitting on the harness is like, and then you got a strap on, and then you got a health and safety guy come over and say, mate, you got a strap on? He's like, oh, I'm like, mate, just strap on. Like, what happened to you? You don't have to ask me twice. I'm strapping on anyway, and I might not even be outside like that. I'm just ready. To do it. So, like, you know what I mean. So I think it's good what they do, and I think it's a safe environment.
So you spoke about the difference in salaries.
Yes.
When you start off, and as you expand into the career, how long is that process from a labourer through to a scaffolder? How long does it take you to start earning the big money?
So basically a labourer, you could be a labourer for 9 months to a year.
Okay.
You could be with 9 months to a year. However, you got guys there who just want to do labour. They don't even really want to advance to that next step. They're happy with their £18 an hour, and they're like, you know what? That's me. I want to pass some gear, and that's it. I don't want the responsibilities of anything else. They just pass some gear. Then you graduate to actual part one, where you obviously on 20 to 22 pounds an hour. But when
after a year.
That's after a year.
That's not bad.
That's good. But I'm saying these figures. These are the figures in London. I've done some courses up north. And boys up north ain't getting that type of money.
Okay.
I told them they need to come down London.
Yeah.
Do you understand
London
where I'm coming
salaries
from?
are going to be big. And we've got London living wage.
That's what it is.
And the thing is, our train systems are good.
Yes.
It's not that bad to commute.
It's great. It's great.
Though. Because like you were saying before, if you're a labourer, sometimes you're starting work at 7 a.m.
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe unless you're driving, maybe the commute isn't that easy.
Yeah. And you know another thing as well, when you're a labourer, you haven't got gear to put on, so you don't have to put on a belt. You don't have to put on a harness because you're not coming really off the ground. You're just passing. You're passing gear, and it's an important job because you need the gear. Do you know what I mean? So, with the labour situation, but with the part one, it gets different. You got to make sure you have a harness. You got to have a tool belt. You know what I mean? You're in the mix now. So, those are the prices between £20 to £22, and you can get that in a year. Okay. You can turn a part one in a year. You get some guys and some old boys like, mate, I didn't put on the tool belt till after 2 years, mate, and all that. Mate, we don't want to hear that. Yeah, we trying to get to our part one. We need to put a bit more money in our pocket. We got some bills to pay, and that's it. And we want a little holiday at the end of the year. So, and
that's like a good £10 above minimum wage.
Yeah. So
that's not bad. If it takes you a year, that's not too long to wait.
Nah, not at all. And then, but the part two, this is the tricky one. So, so from getting to a labourer to a part one, that take you a year. Okay. Now you want to get part two and get some good money. They gonna make you jump through some hurdles. This is probably gonna take you, I'm talking head down as well, probably about another year and a half from the part one.
Okay.
So that's why it can take you 2.5 years, because you got this.
But that's not bad. In my mind, that's not bad. It's long.
Yeah.
But you know, like if you're having to go through that whole time on minimum wage.
Yes.
Then that's hard because you still have to pay your bills.
Yes.
But £22 is not that bad.
Nah, it's not.
So if I've got to do an extra year and a half, considering that's unqualified.
Yes.
Because you got to think. Let's just say you took the academic route and you're doing a 3-year degree.
Yeah.
You finish your degree.
Yeah.
And at the end of your degree, you could go into a minimum wage graduate job.
That's,
which you're going to do for a year.
Yeah.
And at the end of that graduate job, you still might not be getting £22 an hour.
That's it.
In London.
Yeah. No. That's why it's got its good points about it. It has got its good points. So after that year of that part one, it will take you about a year and a half minimum. Reason being is this. So to do the part two, you have to be basically part one for about 9 months after you passed. Okay. So you do 9 months and then you do a theory test. So it's like 2 weeks. It's part of the part two. Because part two, there's a couple stages. So you do the theory, it's like 2 weeks. So you're there for 2 weeks and you're doing the theory and you're doing a bit of practical, but it's that. And then they give you a portfolio. This portfolio, man, I still have nightmares about this portfolio.
Gosh.
This portfolio was thick, it was big, it was so much pages, so much questions on it. Like, so they give you 6 months to do the portfolio. I just didn't have the patience for that. I said, listen.
6 months not bad because you've already done the worst of it.
I know, but I thought, in my mind, the earlier I do the portfolio and send it back, I might be able to, do you know what I mean?
Speed it up.
It didn't really work like that. So I sat down on my kitchen table for about 7 days. I've done real hard shifts. So when I would come back from scaffolding, I would do like 5-6 hours a day. And then on the weekend, one weekend I got up at 7 o'clock. I never left the kitchen table till about 10 o'clock. And I still didn't get halfway through this portfolio. Okay. It's brutal. Okay. It's brutal. So I done that for about, to be fair, I've done it about 8-9 days. But in my mind, I thought, okay, I've done it quick. Let me send it to them. And hopefully they mark it. And then we could just push forward with the final assessment. Yeah. So I sent it to them and I said, did you lot receive it? They're like, yeah, we got it. And I phoned back a couple of weeks later. Do you reckon I'll be ready for the final? He said, mate, it don't work like that. I said, well, how does it work? Then he goes, so basically, mate, it's 6 months. If you send it now or 6 months, you still got to have it for 6 months. So anytime after 6 months, then we mark it. I'm thinking, wow, hold on. So I could have, he said, mate, you could have waited, didn't it? That's just what it is.
But you might have needed to learn that the hard way.
I think I did.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah, I think I did. And to be fair, I learned a lot of things doing that portfolio, like even how my mind works on actually studying and stuff like that. So I sent it over. So after 6 months, that's any time after 6 months they contacted you.
Okay.
They didn't contact me till about 8 months. Maybe they thought because this man's ringing too much.
So the patience, let's show him.
Yeah, to relax a bit.
Be patient.
Yeah, you need to relax a bit. So I was like, all right, cool. So they hit me about 8 months afterwards, asked me a couple questions about my portfolio. And I told them, because they want to see if you wrote it or not. So I told them my questions and that. And then I passed it. And then they said to me, oh. So I said to him, so what's going on? What can I do the final assessment now? He goes, yeah, somebody be in touch. I was like, somebody be in touch? I thought, all this has been down here 9 months. Man saying somebody be in. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll write it out.
Impatient.
Yeah, super impatient. All right, let me write it out there, yeah. So somebody gets in contact maybe about, I think it would have been a year. So 9 months, they probably contact you about 3 months afterwards. You book your final assessment. It's 1 day. You do the practical, you do the course, and then they send you out your card afterwards. That's why I say about 2.5 years.
Okay.
However, I've been working with guys who has been on part 1 for like 5-6 years. I've seen guys that have started their part 2, like do the 2 weeks, and then I'm asking them what's happened to their portfolio. Like, mate, can't get around to it, man. They're longing out. Even if you like, if you're watching this and you have a portfolio, even if you do a page a day, you don't have to do what I did. What I did was insane.
Talk me through the portfolio. What is expected of you in this portfolio? Even though I know it gives you nightmares, just rehash it for us one more time, just so we know if there's someone out there that wants to do this course, they want to go down this career route.
Yeah.
What is expected of them?
The portfolio is brutal. It's basically all the work you've been doing. So they're going to ask you questions and you've done the work before. Okay. So it would have been all the work you did on the 2-week course you did of your part 2. So on that 2-week course, you're going to write down a lot of notes. Okay. And all those notes are going to be stuff they're going to ask you in the portfolio. But they be asking like the wildest things, but you got to make a description. They say, oh, how do you carry a board? And you got to do step by step, bend your knees, pick it up, put it on the shoulder. And it's just bits and bobs like that. So it's time consuming.
Tedious, but very. You need to know it.
You need to know it. You need to do it. And it's just one of them things you need to do to pass your part 2. So, but a lot of guys, they get the portfolio and they're like, man. And a lot of them don't get to. They say they're part 2, and you say, have you done your portfolio? I'm gonna get around to it. How long you been a part 2? 6 years, 7 years. I'm like, dog. Oh. I can't wait that long, damn man.
So ultimately, this process that you're describing to me, it's an apprenticeship. It's an apprenticeship.
Yeah, it is.
So you are studying, you're gonna get a qualification, and you're earning money at the same time and learning on the job.
Yes, you are.
So if you don't want to be, if you're not academic, and you don't want to go down the academic route, and you want a career that is fulfilling, that is practical, where you get a qualification, this is ideal, more or less.
Definitely. And especially if you like working outside, you're into maybe even like a lot of guys are into the gym who's in there as well. Yes. There's a lot of it's labor work. Even if when you are a part 2 and you're qualified, you're still picking up tubes and boards and stuff like that. So it is intensive. But a lot of guys like that, you know what I mean? So if you are into that, I think that'd be a good thing. And there's opportunities. Like the place where I was at, there'd be companies coming from Australia saying, oh, we need guys out there. And some guys would just pack up their stuff. They've gone to Australia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's speak about that a little bit. So that license, the card that you get when you qualify, you can take that abroad. You can take that abroad.
You can take it abroad. You can take it America. You could take it Europe. You could take it Australia. Like
that's good to know.
Yeah, because it's a diploma at the end of the day, so it's strong. And once you kind of have that, you're on a certain amount of money straight away anyway. So, and Canada was big. Like the places I used to go to all the time, you'd get people popping in saying, oh, if you want to go Canada, we've got this place here. That I looked, I saw how cold Canada was.
Yeah, if you can't take the English, it's not worth it.
Nah,
it's not worth it.
And the man said to me, yeah, it's double the money. What's it called? And I looked at the minus something. I said, nah,
No, I've been to Canada once. My tears froze on my face.
Yeah.
I peeled them off.
Yeah.
And I knew I'm never coming back here again in the winter.
Nah, and I took the form when he said it to me, because you could still do your course. I thought, all right, let me go home. Anyway, I went on YouTube. I must have seen Canada. I see a guy. He must have threw water in the air. It was so cold, and it just froze. I've
seen them videos.
I said, nah, let me give Canada a miss. I must stay here, ride it out here. But yeah, a lot of guys went there. A lot of opportunities in Ireland as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and they get good money as well out there as well.
What's good about that is, because right now in the UK, they're saying that employment rates are back to where they were in COVID.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, and one of the reasons for that is, well, there's a few reasons, but one of the reasons is that we're no longer competing with our neighbours, our local community.
Yes.
We're competing with the world.
Yeah.
Because a lot of jobs nowadays, they're actually online, they're remote.
Yeah.
Or they're hybrid, where anywhere in the world you are able to do the same job.
Yes.
So knowing that we can also, because a lot of the time we feel sorry for ourselves, okay, we're competing against the world for the same jobs, so we're not going to get the job. No, actually, they're also competing against us in their country. We can go and get their job.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes when we think about working abroad, we think about mobile positions, we think about digital positions, we think about tech world, tech sales and things like that. We don't necessarily think about manual jobs.
Yeah.
So knowing that that same license, that same card can get you employment abroad, to me is mind-blowing. No,
it's great. That's the great thing about being a scaffolder. There is a lot of opportunities to work abroad. There's some guys that went to Australia and just never came back. Once they got their citizenship, that was them, and they loved the atmosphere, because in certain places where they're working, it's so hot. They start in the morning, and as soon as it gets to a certain temperature, they stop for the day.
Yeah.
So it's they loved it out there. Yeah, man, it's a good opportunity to have. As I said, you can move around, especially Europe as well, and Ireland. Ireland's another one, but a lot of the lads go out there and they make good money as well. So yeah, it's a good opportunity. So Ebony, hearing all this information, do you believe as a scaffolder, like, you could run your own business, you could have our own business from being a scaffolder, hearing all this kind of information, because you're a businesswoman?
100%. I think we need to think outside the box a little bit, in the sense of, if we think about not only the journey that you've described today, but also the journey that Paul said to us, Paul explained, and the transferable skills. These, especially, you were saying that, there's one thing when you're being a scaffolder, and you're working maybe 7 a.m. till 2. You've still got the time to leave and go and pick up your kids from school.
Definitely.
But when you're a rigger, you're on that film set. That's 12, 16 hours.
A day, yeah.
That's what business is.
Yeah.
No matter how academic you are, no matter what your skill set or your expertise is, if you are an SME business owner, you are doing the dog's work.
Yeah.
You are going in at the crack of dawn, you're leaving at the dead of night, you are working long, 12 to 16 hours a day, and you're having to do the manual and the skillful and the academic and the brutal, everything that business needs, no matter how big or small your team is, you're doing every job.
Yeah.
So I think that the discipline and the commitment it takes to go from being a labourer to a scaffolder to a rigger, I think the long hours, I think the networking and the relationship building and the contracting,
yes,
that's exactly what it takes to be in business.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that I would say you can become a scaffolder and then open a business, a scaffolding business or a construction business. Not that you can't do that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, even bigger than that, the skill set that it took to go from being a labourer to a rigger, that's more than the expertise and the commitment it takes to run a business in any industry.
Definitely. I agree with you. Another thing is, well, to add on to what you're saying as well, is a lot of scaffolders who run their own scaffolding firm, they got a part 2 ticket and been in the game for like 10 years and realised, like, you know what? I can have a crack at this myself. I need a van, get a bit of material and hire out a garage so I can store the material in the garage, and they do like jobs like loft conversions or extensions and stuff like that, and they get a couple lads, might make 2 lads, another scaffolder and a labourer, and they're good to go. You know what I mean? So you could definitely run your own business as you get to a part two scaffolder. You know what I mean? And you've had a bit of time in the game. You could definitely do that. Yeah. So listen, I hope we answered everybody's questions, and we had a good deep dive about being a scaffolding today. I want to thank Ebony for coming today, and
thank you for having me.
yeah, so it's all good. Thank you.